What is good, y'all? Welcome to Let's Cap. As you can see, I am not by myself today opening the show. We got Ski and Jay Money. Always gonna be a good time when we got Ski and Jay in the building. Man, I've got always gotta start off transparent. Yesterday, not a good day from the sports memo side, but we have a side chat, and you guys see the plays that I actually played too as well on the side, and those hit, but the ones that I gave out didn't. So it's always one of those things where it's tough to be on this side of the building as far as being a capper in this side of the sports media side, because you can't share everything, right? You give out as much information as you want, but sometimes it's too late to post stuff when you have angles that come in late, like towards basically like 30 minutes before the show. I was like, all right, well, I like this under here on the Charlotte side, but I couldn't give it out to clients at that moment because it's too late for them. But I mean, so yesterday, bad on the sportsman side, overall, kind of flat. But I know Ski, you had a good day yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't. I know I don't have on top of my head the actual count, but I know I was up a little bit above 6 units. So I've cashed or profited the last 5 days, and I'm gonna try to keep it going here today. I do have one thing to contribute to the show as far as SDQL style. So
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully we can talk that out, and it'll be a winner for everybody.
Let's do it. All right, Jay, how's everything been going for you?
Man, come off a big win, man. I'm trying to keep it going. I ain't gonna lie, I went heavy on the Lakers. Yes, I already had them overnight, and I didn't get scared, man. I feel like it was some little bit injury report manipulation. No AD. I'm like, they still finna go out here and beat them boys, man. So yeah, I was on the Lakers pretty heavy yesterday. Let's keep this shit going today.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into this first game here. The Raptors and the Wizards. Sorry, I'm gonna share my screen. And I know this is one where we're kind of on the opposite sides here with Ski, but a lot of things that I was looking at, obviously, so the biggest thing that I've seen on the to say the Raptors aren't the side here is really just the road favorite, right? 4-6 straight up, 1-9 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. Other than that, dude, if we're just watching the games and we're looking at how this roster is made up and how healthy they're getting, I feel like they're on their way up. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. So if we go back and just say how they've been doing lately, they've won 8 of their last 10 games here, and doing it. Whether it's on the offensive side or the defensive side, it's like you can't figure out when they're going to play offense, when they're going to play defense. But what I do know is they're playing better the last 10 games, specifically the last 10 games. And on the opposite side, we talked about on Jay's show the effect of Monte Morris. So we go on this on Spodebs here and we say how the Wizards have been doing, and we say how they do without Monte Morris. They are 4-6 straight up, 3-6-1 against the spread, averaging 106 per game, allowing 108.8. So their defense is pretty solid, but their offense is really struggling. 10-game sample size isn't that bad. Another thing to add too, if we say that they're the home dog, they're 0-3 straight up, 0-3 against the spread. I would say this is a lot more important, in my opinion, because we know the Raptors haven't been healthy for the most part of the season. And here we see the effect of Monty Morris's offense. Ski, I know you're on the opposite side here. I want you to go first and talk about why you like the Wizards.
Ski, ski.
Yeah,
If you don't mind, I gotta go. I gotta run
go
real
for it.
quick,
Oh
bro.
yeah,
I
go ahead,
gotta
Jay.
dip out. Now I wanted to stay for this shit, man, but I do like the Raptors, man. In this, so I know Ski on the other side, but I like Raps. I want to hear, but I gotta go move these cars, bro. So I'm sorry, I gotta dip out. But Raptors, Mavs first quarter, full game, like the Raptors game under, and I might get there with the Clippers. I did just give myself an edge up, so I might have to ride the Clippers, man. But I'm gonna have to holler at y'all boys later, man. It's all
Yeah, you're
love.
good. All right, Jay. Thanks for
Uh,
dropping in, anyways.
all right, my guys.
Oh, I see. What up, Munaf? Ski.
Damn
What were
it,
you thinking
got
about the
me
Wizards
off.
side here?
Hey, RC, I'm about to actually log into my computer and be right back on the show.
Yeah, I got you. All right, well, Munaf, thanks for dropping in. Oh, I think you're on mute, bro. Or did I mute you?
Oh, there
No.
we go.
Oh, you
Good
go.
thing I didn't say anything explicit with Ski was on. What's going on, man?
Chilling, bro. We're talking. This is the first game up. We got Wizards and the Raptors here. I did take the Raptors. I think one thing that I posted in the chat last night, and you said that the Raptors as road favorites kind of struggling here. But
Mhm.
one thing that I was saying was basically that they haven't been healthy all season long, and now they got an actual true center. They're fully healthy. I don't see anyone on their injury report that's important. On the opposite side, Wizards are missing Monte Morris, and I was just showing on Spodevs the effect of the Monte Morris without Monte Morris, how their offense struggles. And then you get Porzingis back, and we talk about how when a key player comes back, typically that team kind of struggles the first game or two, to kind of acclimate them back into the rotation. So a lot of things going the opposite direction, right? Raptors finally being healthy, and the Wizards now kind of struggling with the roster. But you see anything on this game here?
I was also looking at the first quarter over in this game, especially with the Wizards at home. You take over the last 10 games in the first quarter at home. Wizards are 7-3, I believe, is what I talked about on my show this morning. To the over. Last 5, they're 4-1 to the over, and then the 3 games after the All-Star break so far, they've gone over. It's a perfect 3-0. So I think that we'll see some offense out of the gate here between these two squads. You mentioned that the Raptors are healthier. Pascal Siakam's been playing well. And then obviously you mentioned with KP coming back and Bradley Beal being in a facilitator mode as well. So I think we'll see some points in the first quarter here. I did play the over for 57.5 as an official play here tonight in this first quarter.
That actually seems pretty low, 57.5. Ski, what are you thinking about in this game here?
Yeah, I'm against everybody on the Raptors here. With the Wizards, well, I'll say this first. What you said about Monte Morris, because of that, I'm going to go ahead and play Bradley Beal over his assist because he's going to be the person playmaking today. Yeah. But Wizards, I just feel like they've been playing really good basketball, especially as an underdog. Like if you're winning these games outright as a 5-point, 7-point, whatever the case is, underdog, that tells me that you're in good form right now, that you care about these games, you're motivated, and it's been more of their role. They have a winning record at home. This Raptors team, not only just laying points are they not covering, they don't even have a winning record. So I just don't think they're that good of a squad. Mm-hmm. Even when they've been a road favorite, they're 2-5 straight up their last 7. I just don't see too many reasons to lay points with that side. I'll take the home squad who's been doing it night in and night out not night in and night out, but who's been doing it as a home dog lately. In the Wizards.
That's the thing, though. I mean, like, I get it. I get what you're saying here, but I just don't know how to explain this. Like I think the effect of Monte Morris is huge for their offense. I think Punt School or Josh has mentioned this a lot too, of how he runs this offense here, how they do much better with him in the lineup. If we look at, you just mentioned how the Wizards do as dogs, right? I just looked at it with Wizards as dogs without Monte Morris, and they're 1-6 straight up, 1-5 against the spread. Like I said, dude, I think he's just a huge impact in the offense that doesn't get a lot of credit. As far as like how it's kind of like how Steven Adams, right? Steven Adams doesn't move the line, but you can see how he affects the Grizzlies offense. They're finally starting to adjust, but I just don't know if they're used to not having Monte Morris run that offense.
Is it possible to see how many of those games Bradley Beal actually played? Yeah, because he's been out of the lineup too. And if they don't have Bradley Beal and Morris, then there's nobody to play make. But if you have Bradley Beal,
so you want to see if what it's like with Bradley Beal in, right?
Yeah,
and Monte Morris out.
A lot of these games earlier in the year, DeLon Wright was out, Bradley Beal was out. They had nobody else to play make. It's a little bit different right now. That's just how I feel.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point there. So Monte Morris out, Bradley Beal in, 1-2 straight up, 1-1 against the spread. So it's pretty tight, but for the most part, their offense really is just not there. It's still not there.
Let me ask you this, RC.
Yeah.
Any of the 30 NBA teams, if they only have one point guard on the roster who's healthy and they're missing them in the game, their offense is going to look shitty, right?
I mean, it depends on like how key that point guard is. If it's someone else like not important to that roster, if they have like 2 point guards that just suck, either one could be starting, doesn't really matter. Then it doesn't matter, right? If one point guard is way better than the other, then it's going to affect it.
I just feel like it's a big difference between being a point guard, like the responsibility of being a point guard and getting everybody else set up. These other positions not going to be able to step in and just do that right away. Even if you have a star point guard and just a regular backup point guard, they're going to get the offense running a lot smoother than anybody else on the roster. So my point is just, I hear what you're saying and I agree. I just know DeLon Wright was out for extended time. Bradley Beal was out for extended time. Not really any of the guards over there. I think if I think about all 30 teams, if you take off 2 of the main ball handlers, away from that team. And I mean, if you take out the third one too, I'm a bet an under. I'm gonna expect their offense not to do anything.
Yeah, for sure. I mean that kind of bodes. I mean, not having Monte Morris and looking at the under makes sense, right? But I think we're still. I don't know if we're gonna agree on the side here at all, just because of how we're looking at the game. But Munaf, did you have a look on the side at all? I know you were looking at that first quarter, but what is your look on the side here?
Yeah, I'd probably lean with the Wizards as well here with Ski. There's something about this Toronto team I just don't trust, man. I mean, kind of take a look at their schedule kind of over the past week, or even if you go before the All-Star break. I mean, it hasn't been impressive victories, right? They beat the Pistons, they beat Orlando, they beat the Pelicans, they beat the Pistons again, and then they got blown out by by Cleveland by 25 points on the road. And then they beat Chicago. I think they were on a back-to-back in that game. So
yeah,
it's kind of going back to why we had back. I forgot who it was that they hadn't played very many quality opponents, and they were a short favorite, and we went the other way on that team, and that underdog cashed. But especially, and I like backing home underdogs, kind of in the situation that Washington is in it here tonight. So it's not official play for me, but I would, if you put a gun to my head, I'd go Wizards +2 here tonight.
All right, looks like I'm on an island today. Well, Jay said he liked the Raptors too, but let's move on to this next one here. The Sixers and the Mavs. This one, I like the under in this one, and I know you guys mentioned like the Dallas defense here, but the Sixers defense has been pretty solid, and we talked about it yesterday, Munaf. The Sixers with and without Embiid, and how that affects their offense as well. The pace of play is the same. It looks like it's the same, but for some reason they're still scoring less points per game. Defensively, their defensive rating is also better with Embiid. The report that I saw is that he should be playing today because moving forward, it sounds like he's going to be off of the first leg of back-to-back games moving forward for the rest of the season. And so in that sense, that means he's going to be playing today. Obviously, it's not official yet, but that's the way that I'm kind of looking at this game here. But from that angle, I would still look towards the under here. The Mavs have to figure it out defensively. I don't know if they're going to figure it out today, but 229 seems kind of high for a Sixers game here. What is your look on this one, Munaf?
Yeah, we're digging more into this on my show as well, and you kind of look at the pace numbers for both of these teams. I think they're both bottom 3 as far as season-long stats go. Philly, number 27 possessions per game. Dallas, second to last, number 29. And again, their 3-point defense for both teams has been really good. Obviously, that's changed since the Kyrie trade because we talked about how defensively they haven't been very good, especially when you have Kyrie that doesn't play defense and Luka doesn't either. And then they're very vulnerable inside the paint. So I think if Joel Embiid does go here tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets into the range of 40 points here tonight and has a big night rebounding the basketball. So I think I agree with you, RC, that Joel Embiid should go here tonight. I'll agree with you about the under in this game. But I would definitely lean with the Philadelphia 76ers here tonight. Yeah,
it was weird because when I was looking at it, there was like multiple ways that I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this one. One way was actually Philly team total over, right? Because after you said last night about Dallas's defense, obviously they're struggling defensively. They have to figure it out if they're gonna make it deep into the playoffs here with this roster. So I mean, like I said, I don't know if it's gonna be today. I think it's just a slow-paced game, playoff atmosphere type game, and we typically look at those as low under games. Ski, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I feel opposite. Just because you have to win or you got to do something doesn't mean it's going to happen. And until Dallas shows me that they can actually step in front of somebody and defend, I'm not going to expect them to. They're allowing the most points in the paint since the trade. You're going up against Embiid? Come on now. That's a recipe for disaster. So I have to lean towards the Sixers side, and I think he gets whatever he wants down in the paint. Dallas is going to play up tempo. They're moving the ball well. They're playing more towards like an over team. I could only look towards points and only look towards the Sixers.
This is one thing that I saw, Ski, on the second leg of back-to-back games. Sixers 6-2 straight up and against the spread, 6-2 to the under. Look at the average combined score here, dude. That's like almost 15 points lower than what the current total is. And that having that big of a gap was one thing that kind of said, you know, I know I understand the Maverick side of it, why you guys think it would be the over, but like I was saying on Jay Show, there's two teams here. One team is playing really solid defense. Both teams playing slow pace. So I don't know. Some things are still pointing towards the under to me. Chris, thanks for joining. Anything on this game here?
Man, I'm just here to see what the money team won today. RC. I think the card is difficult to cap myself. I just want to listen, man. Glad you guys having me. I think I would kind of lean to what Ski was saying. In all seriousness, if I'm looking at this game, I need the Mavs to do it first. Kind of similar to the Clippers, man. I haven't bet the Clippers since the All-Star break, since they got Westbrook, just because, even though I feel like they should have won a couple games, they would land 6.5 against the Timberwolves the other day and lost that game outright. I just kind of want to see it from some of these newer teams before I put my hard-earned money on them. RC. So this game is it's too trendy for me. A lot of things going different ways. So I'm gonna sit on the sideline like a bench player today.
Yeah, that was one thing that I was thinking about too, is just kind of sitting off of it. But I already took the under last night at 229.5. And when I woke up this morning, it was 228, and then all of a sudden it kind of came back up to 229. Not really sure what the betting market is doing with this one, but I already took it, so I can't fall back on it now. But the other thing that I was looking at too, from a side perspective, was the Mavs here and non-conference home favorite. They have yet to cover a game in that spot. 0-8-1 in that spot.
Yeah.
Non-conference home favorite situation. And then if we go to the Sixers side too, I think there was something with non-conference there.
Yeah. I was going to mention, RC, if you do 76ers not conference and on the road for the total, I think it's like 7-3 towards the over.
Gotcha. 234, 232. Shit, something like that. 232 and something.
RC, real quick, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
And real quick comment on what Ski was saying as well. Backing these teams that haven't done anything recently and like needing them to show it. I backed the Pelicans in that desperation spot, not last night, but 2 games ago, and they burnt me in that spot too. So I'm with Ski on that. RC, I got a question for you. At what point in the season do you at all kind of start looking more like last 5-10 game stats versus like looking at the whole totality of
So if you look at I know what you're trying to get at. I think what it is you got to look at the teams that have roster changes, right? Trades, injuries, and things like that. If you just like the Raptors, right? They've been injured pretty much the whole season until just recently, and now they got a true center. Obviously they got some adjustment period, but if you look at their current run, they've won 8 of their last 10, so they do have momentum on their side. It does make sense that the quality of the opponents that Munaf was mentioning, but at the same time, I just feel like they're going in the opposite direction. Those two teams there, so seeing them as road favorites, 1-9 against the spread, that's a full season record. I still like the Raptors.
No, I'm with you. RC. Yeah. The only way I'm playing the game is Raptors.
I think there's that balance. There's that balance. There's some of us that do the SDQL stuff. We got league-wide systems. We got trends and angles, and we also got to look at it from an eye perspective. How our team's doing in current form and all that stuff. It's not just someone's 0-10 ATS, not fade them. It's not always just like that. But obviously this show does kind of seem like that, but at the same time, there's a lot more preparation that we do prior to the show. That's just my take. Ski or Munaf, you guys want to add on to that?
I agree. I mean, if you're not going to have success if you just pull up the system and just play them randomly, just because, just not even capping the game. Each game is a little bit different. Each team's a little bit different. So I kind of went through this season. I started off the season really strong, just capping regular, watching the games, et cetera, and then kind of started to rely a little bit too heavy on the database, and it wasn't working out. So got back to, just not relying as heavy on it, using it still, but also the eye test and all those other things. And I've been having some profitable days lately. So I agree.
I think it's the point of the season where what Ski just mentioned is that I think the eye tests may be a little bit more important than looking at season-long stats or even, you know, last 5, last 10, because motivation changes after the All-Star break for a lot of these teams, right? Whether they're tanking, whether they're trying to get into the play-in tournament, whether they're playing for playoff seeding, or there's guys resting on front end of back-to-backs or back end of back-to-back. So I think at this point of the season, yeah, you got to really rely on the eye test, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I think that that's a good addition to what we were talking about is the motivation factor, because man, you know, last few years we haven't seen this load management as much as we have this season, and it kind of goes to show what teams are thinking at specific times too. You know what I mean? Like, how do they feel at the current moment where they're standing in their standings, right? If they're top 5, you know, yeah, they're gonna give some guys some rest, like they give Sixers gave Embiid rest yesterday. But at the same time, we got to look at teams who are on the second leg of back-to-back games and who don't rest anybody, because I think moving forward, that means that they're showing they got a sense of urgency for their roster, for their team. So we got to look at those little things too as well.
Yep.
Any last words on this game here before we move on to the next one? Any prop stuff?
I mean, I think we're all just waiting for Joel Embiid if he plays or not, and if he does, I think you got to probably. I mean, I'm not afraid to ladder up to 50 here tonight, just because they who's going to stop this guy? I mean, Ski mentioned it. You got Dwight Powell matching up on him? I mean, Christian Wood. It's not happening tonight, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, would you pivot to his assist? Because I feel like when Embiid has played against teams that don't have a big man at all, like OKC was the one time that he did actually get a triple-double. I'm not suggesting he get.
I was just going to mention that. Go for a triple-double if you want.
But do you play his assist at all? You know, with them potentially throwing a double team at him. I know they did get Maxi Kleber back the other day.
Yeah,
but
I would probably look at
that's probably it.
I think I would maybe more ladder his rebounds here tonight, just because again we've seen Dallas struggle all season keeping opposing big men, you know, out of the paint, or you know, trying to keep them off the boards. But I think you know, RC, you mentioned earlier that I think we all probably think he plays here tonight, because yesterday he got upgraded to questionable, in the game time he sat out, thinking you know he's on a back-to-back here tonight.
All right, let's move on to this next one here, the ugly game of the day, Pacers and Spurs. But even though it's ugly, there might be some opportunity to make some money here. Chris, anything on this game here?
Strong look. I didn't play it yet. It's a lot of you know, injury implications in this game. Biggest one is probably Halliburton being listed as questionable for this game. Also, I think Keldon Johnson got rolled out. He rolled his ankle. I think it was about 2 minutes left in that Utah game the other day. And they're supposed to get Devin Vassell back today as well. I think also Trey Jones is also back for them as well. So I don't know if with all that being juggled out, if that's going to help the offense or not. But one thing that's been cashing for sure is the San Antonio team total under is what we've been talking about, RC. I think it was 7-3 the other day when I played the under in the game against Utah, and they went under again. So it's now 8-3 in the last 11 games. I know that they're playing the Pacers, but the Pacers have actually played well defensively as road favorites, which has only happened 3 times this season. They're 2-1 to the under as a road favorite, only averaging about 214 points per game in that spot. You look at the Spurs, they're 4-2 to the under as a home dog when it's a small line. And when I say small, I mean 4 points or less, and an average of about 214 points per game in that spot as well. They're also 7-4 to the under in February with a total of 232 points combined in that spot, and 229 points total in February between both teams if you take away the overtime games, because I think they had 2 overtime games. So if I'm playing anything, I'm playing the under in this game.
Did you say full game or the Spurs team total under?
Full game, but Spurs team total under, all that good stuff. I think you could play either. I like the full game better though.
I was talking to Ski right before the show. I was like in the Spurs team total under as well. I know he likes the full game under, but if just looking at the Pacers against teams with a losing record this season, they're 23-8 team total under for their opponents. Full game, it does support the full game under, 20-11 to the full game under as well. But the other thing to note is the Spurs in non-conference games. This one's a smaller sample size, but it still tells me something. And is it home dogs? Hold on. Spurs non-conference home dog. Fuck, I don't know where it went, but it was a look towards their team total again. I forgot what it was.
Let me give you something, RC, before I got to dip out of here.
Oh yeah, go ahead, dude.
When I say flat 5, it means like it's their first game back after a 5-game road trip or more. So however you got to type that in, 5-game road trip and now back home, or a 5-game road trip and they're a home dog and they're equally rested. And then we'll go season. You can do 2005 and it's good, but it's even better since 2015.
For the under, full game under.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, it looks a little bit different as far as the number you had there. I had 31, 11, and 3 to the under. Oh, it's still about the same.
It's pretty similar.
Mhm.
35,
Okay, yeah.
13, and 3 to the under.
Yeah, so it's just, it's a flat spot for the Spurs. They already haven't been playing that good offensively. You're going to be missing your leading scorer. Second leading scorer is coming back in the lineup, but he's going to be rusty. He hasn't played since January 2nd. And the Spurs haven't been hitting this number in their games. 2 of their last 10 games have eclipsed 238 points. You mentioned too how Indiana versus lesser competition has been to the under. I think this is another under game.
I like it. I might just pivot off of that team total and just focus on the full game as well. Then
Let's ride, Ski. I think I'm gonna get there. I haven't played it yet.
Good luck, y'all. I gotta dip out.
All right, Ski.
All right,
Thanks
Ski.
for dropping in.
Yep.
I think RC, this is also their first game back. They usually take an annual rodeo road trip, right? Because the rodeo is in town in San Antonio. And I'm only saying that because after San Antonio, they come here down to Houston. So they always go on this long road trip from like end of February to like early March. So I don't know if there's a way we can see how they do in their first game back from
after
that
9 games. I think it was 9 games.
I think it's something like that every single year for them because they do take that 9-game road trip every single year around this time.
Are you talking about the
Spurs?
The Spurs first game back after a 9-game road trip.
Because the rodeo's in town in Houston, or sorry, in San Antonio during this time.
Fuck.
Let's go. That's how we do Let's Cap, RC.
All right, so let's go back. Let's go as far back as we can. Yeah, dude. Oh my god. Okay, so I mean, just in general. So let's just take it off. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's just the under. Look how many unders in a row that is since 2014.
And those are pretty much back from those road trips that they take.
Okay, well, there's one.
I don't see a year missed in there either. See, it's like 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Yeah, bro, that's a good point, man. Good shit, Munaf. That's why you're on the show. Other than that, I don't know why. Sorry, no, I'm just kidding.
That's a Texas thing for you. There you go.
It's a Texas thing. Anything else on this one from a proper? Wait, this is a Pacers game. Oh yeah, the one that I was looking at, guys, was a PRA. For Miles Turner, I think Ski said he liked his threes. I can't talk him off of that either. But if I look at the last 3 weeks here, obviously it takes account of the All-Star break, but he's gone over this in 3 out of the 4. But I looked at him specifically. It was actually the last 3 in a row after the All-Star break. He's gone over the 30.5 PRA, and the Spurs are giving up basically they're basically the second best matchup for centers to go over their PRA. So that's one thing that that I was looking at from a prop perspective there. In this game, did you guys have anything on from a prop perspective in this game?
I think without the Hallie news, if he's going to be in or not,
Can't really
I
do
think
anything, huh?
yeah, I can't really do anything. But
same,
just under, man.
Yeah, under for sure. RC, I also was looking at. I put this in the chat earlier. Miles Turner blocks or his steals plus blocks as well. He had 5 in his last game, steals plus blocks. He had 4 against Dallas. But if you look at San Antonio, they're actually allowing the most blocks to centers. I think on the season, they're just getting a shot blocked the most. And I think also over the last like 5 to 7 games as well. So look at his blocks over 2.5. He has had, I think, 4+ blocks in his last 3 games versus the Spurs as well. So either steals plus blocks at 3.5 or just his blocks at 2.5. I think he gets to both of those today.
Joel Embiid probable tonight. Just came across.
There you go. There you go. Good shit. I think that's it for me on this game. The blocks and steals. You would think the blocks more than steals, right, Chris?
Yeah, but he could. I was just looking at his game log. I see he has been getting a steal, every so often, and it gives you that little bit of a cushion because he could go out and get 5 blocks and he still clears the number 2. So
yeah, for sure.
I mean, the Spurs turn the ball over, a lot too. So if he falls into a steal, that wouldn't surprise me tonight either.
Yeah, that makes sense. Those lucky bounces and shit. All right, let's move on to what is it?
RC, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since you're on the steals and blocks, can you look up Youcapper?
Yeah. Look.
And then maybe do like last 2 weeks. Actually, no, 3 weeks is good.
3 weeks. Okay, let's look up Pirtle. Pirtle here. So he's got. Oh, he showed. That's just blocks. Hold on, let me get to blocks and steals. Blocks and steals, Pirtle. So shit, he gone over in 6 straight, over 2.5.
And
Averaging
it's at plus
4.5 blocks and steals.
Yeah, he's at
Middle
plus
of the pack as
155.
far as like matchup, they're 12th. Washington's 12th in allowing. But that's like in the middle, so there's probably that big cluster between like 12 and 18 where they're pretty much all the same.
Yeah,
that's a good look.
Good find,
Yeah,
I played that one. That one's at on DCAP plus 155 over 2.5 steals and blocks combined. And I only noticed that since he got traded over to Toronto, he didn't hit it in the first game with Toronto, but he only played 17 minutes in that game.
Yeah,
and it was against Utah too, and we know Utah has Walker Kessler, Laurie Marketing in there, but like this says, it's been 6 straight games he's hit over 2.5 and still at plus money.
Damn. Man, that's a good find.
The money team. Let's count it up tonight.
Let's go on to this last game here. This is where it gets really funky, man. This game here, I think there's a lot of people.
Just be careful what you say
on the Clippers. A lot of people on the Clippers here. I'll let you guys start because I'm looking at this game from a prop perspective. I think I'm gonna stay away from the side in total. But if you guys have anything, Munaf, start with you here. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm taking a hard look at the Clippers here tonight. I don't even know where to start with it. I think that a lot of people are talking about it's the Russell Westbrook factor, but I mean, you kind of take a look at some of their games since coming out of the All-Star break. They just haven't been able to close out games. We saw it with Sacramento where it went to double overtime, where there was like a bajillion points scored in that game. They had the opportunity there against Minnesota. It was just they just didn't look very good, right? They had a really bad shooting night, right, as well. So I don't know if tired legs caught up to them in that game where they were coming off of a double overtime game and then another overtime game against Denver. But I think this is a good spot here for them to go into Golden State here into the Bay Area in San Francisco to get a W here tonight and probably cover this number. And again, you take a look at what Golden State has done over their past 3 games, right? I mean, it hasn't been the greatest competition. Obviously, Rockets, everybody's beating them. I think we could probably put a squad together and go beat them. Minnesota, they were down early in that game, but they found a way to come back and to win that game and cover. And then Portland, I think Portland was on a back-to-back, I believe, after that 71-point game from Damian Lillard. And I probably would think that it would be a flat spot, but
yeah, for sure.
And again, this is a division game between these 2 teams. We talked about it in the chat as well 2 weeks ago. Clippers won that game by 10 points. Kawhi Leonard had a big game, and I think Ty Lue was still trying to figure out rotations just because they had so many moving parts coming in at the trade deadline with Bones Highland, Eric Gordon. You signed Russell Westbrook as well. But I think I've been really impressed with the way Kawhi Leonard's been playing, man. I know he hasn't taken very many nights off, even though they've been in a lot of back-to-back situations in overtime games. I mean, I think we would have all thought that he would have sat the next game after that double overtime loss to the Sacramento Kings, but he kept on playing. But I think it's a good spot for them. Division game to get out of this losing streak. I think they get the job done here tonight.
Like on paper, Munaf, it really does look like a Clippers spot. Like just everything just pointing in that direction. But Dude, even just the fact that Curry and Wiggins are out, you would say all right, it makes sense that that's why they're home dogs, right? In the spot. Man, I looked at how they do without Curry and Wiggins. They're 8-1 straight up, 7-1 again. Like I don't fucking get it. Like
But who they played though?
well, that's the thing. So they got Rockets, Pistons. They got some whack squads here. They did have the Grizzlies, but that was like early in the season.
That was Christmas.
Day.
That was Christmas.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess that wasn't that long ago. Blazers. I think this was the one that you mentioned that was a flat spot, right? Wolves. I don't know. Rockets. Obviously, they should have beat them. Should have beat them. It's just weird to me still that they're getting it done still with that type of squad, regardless of who they've been playing. So if they move the number properly, they should be covering. Is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
But if they didn't, if that number is still short, then obviously take the Clippers. But I just don't know. That's what's keeping me off of here because I don't understand this. Chris, anything on this one?
I've summed it up for me. The Clippers are a team that I feel like should win this game. Like kind of like what Munaf said, they should win this game. The Warrior, I don't want to play the side. I think the Clippers should win. I think they should cover the spread as well. Both of these teams play tomorrow. Clippers got to go to Sacramento, and Golden State gets the Pelicans tomorrow. I think the Clippers win today. They get smacked tomorrow in Sacramento, and I think the Warriors lose today and beat the Pelicans tomorrow. That just kind of makes sense in my head. I like the total more. I like the under. I just think there's two good teams playing against each other. Two teams that have a 50% win percentage playing against each other on the first leg of a back-to-back, needing to save some for tomorrow, especially the Golden State Warriors, because they are the home team and they're kind of stuck in that parity in the Western Conference between that like 4th and 13th seed. So to me, it feels like a game they probably will win, not win, but will not score as many points. They've also been relying on the defense. I know you looked at a lot of those trends. A lot of those trends, the Warriors play defense in those. A lot of the things that you were talking about, RC. You look at the Warriors at home against good teams. They typically go under. In all the games as a home dog, I think they're 4-0 to the under. Check me real quick. Fact check me real quick, RC.
What was it? Clippers.
The Warriors as home dogs. Don't they go under in all those games?
4-0 straight up and against the spread. 4-0 to the under.
Yeah, I mean the total's dropping. I think it opened at 232, so it's coming down. Like I said, with both of them having to play tomorrow, it just kind of feels like a Clippers win. The game goes under. They finally play some defense. The only reason I didn't play it yet is because the first two Clipper game flew over the total. The second one against,
and also Chris, Clippers as road favorites, 11-6 to the over as well.
Right. So I don't look too much into that right now. I see just because there's so much turnover on the team.
Difference.
Yeah, so much turnover. So I'm trying to like base it off, the eye test of what I'm seeing. With Westbrook, does he push the pace? Losing like adding Bones, Holland, getting Plumlee in there. Like, how is that going to affect the pace? How do they play on the first leg of a back-to-back? Do they want to save some for the Kings tomorrow after losing to the Kings in a game that they definitely should have won if they don't have a meltdown in the fourth quarter? 2 weeks ago. So
I feel like it was how the minutes were
distributed,
managed. Yeah, because even in that second game, the game after that too, like Westbrook only played 25 minutes. Like a lot of the starters only played. They were all limited because they just played a double OT game. So I get it. I get what you're saying.
Playoff style atmosphere. RC, I think first team to 110 wins this game tonight. I would look towards the under.
Anything to add on that one, Munaf?
I think the one thing that does make me nervous about the under is if you take a look at Warriors off a 1-day rest, I think they're the over is like 70% this season. But we also have to take into account how many games Steph Curry was in those games. I think they've gone 2 straight unders, though. In the last 2 games, obviously, against the Blazers, the total was 234.5. Ended up 228. And then against the Minnesota Timberwolves in a game where neither team was shooting the basketball well. I know Anthony Edwards really struggled in that game, but that's been something that's been cashing for me this season. But I've kind of laid off, especially when Curry's not in the lineup for the Warriors.
So if we expect, so just looking at this here again, going back to the Curry and Wiggins thing, right? 7-2 to the under. Like let's just throw away the side perspective, right?
Mhm.
Do we think who they have on the roster can limit the Clippers offensively, or is like someone in the chat mentioned the Clippers have zero chemistry? Are they still trying to figure it out, and is that going to affect their offense here? Because if we look at just that three game span here with the Clippers, coming off of that double OT game, obviously that was a high paced game. They scored a lot. It made it even crazier just because they had double OT. Then you get another OT game here, and then all of a sudden you have a game that doesn't go into OT with a slower pace, and they fly under. Like, are we what? Which team is the true Clippers right now, or are we still trying to figure that out?
I think we're still trying to figure it out, RC, because if the first game that Westbrook's on the team, they go to double overtime. It's going to take a while after that, right? Then you come off of that game and you go to another overtime game. So I know, the Clipper Wolves and the Clippers and the Timberwolves, RC, was a game that YBB talked about on your show. And he gave out the under. He talked about liking the under. He gave out the Timberwolves as well, because the Clippers were coming off a game, 2 previous games where they had 3 overtimes combined in those games. So it kind of makes sense that game was going to go under. So like I said, they got to play again tomorrow. I think this one goes under as well. And I think the Clippers are a better defensive team. One thing you mentioned, RC, is the management of the minutes, right? How Ty Lue wants to monitor the minutes. He talked about making sure Terrence Mann played more minutes because he's the more defensive guy. Westbrook might not be out there in the fourth quarter, right? If Terrence Mann is, playing defense and he's being efficient offensively, it might be Westbrook to the bench.
Yeah.
Can you check or see how they do on front ends of back-to-backs?
Some of Clippers or
both if you can.
6-5, 5-6. It's pretty flat. And we just go to road. Go to the over there on that. But that's like Chris said, though. I mean, they don't have Westbrook here pushing that pace.
Mhm.
We go towards the Warriors side. I should just go to this one without Curry and Wiggins.
Yeah.
Just one game.
Okay.
That one flew
Just
under.
flew under, yeah.
That shit flew under.
Post
let's look
All-Star
at it
break,
with-
RC, in 3 games, the Clippers are tied for first in pace with the Timberwolves. Just FYI.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
I feel like a Clippers team total over, maybe. Because I feel like defensively.
I was thinking Warriors team total under, same thing I was
Yeah.
thinking, because I think the pace slows down today.
Oh man, this one's tough, guys. But
Yeah,
I know from a prop perspective, I do like some stuff.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything on props here?
I think we had alignment with myself and Ski, and I think I forgot. I think was it Mitch or Josh that mentioned it in the chat about Kawhi Leonard 3-pointers. I think it was Mitch that mentioned it, 3-pointers.
Yeah.
He's been firing on all cylinders. He's knocking it down efficiently. The matchup 2 weeks ago, I think he went 7 of 9 from 3-point land against the Warriors. Did Kawhi Leonard? So I think that was one look that we did like, and that was at plus money odds tonight here as well.
Yeah, here's Kawhi's right here. Over 2.5 threes. Gone over in 4 out of 5. Did he go over in all 3 games with Westbrook too? Didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah.
Averaging 3.8, so that's a big gap. 1.3, so over his total. And Golden State's giving it up. The green light means it's good to go for the overs there. That was one way that I was looking, and then the other one, guys, was Westbrook assist here. Was the other way that I was looking to. So Westbrook here, 3 games with the Clippers so far. He's gone over in 2 of them. The one game that he didn't go over was when he was limited to 25 minutes in that second game after the double OT. He didn't play after that, and I think he only got 4 assists that game. But if we look at just chances, I think I had it up here somewhere, right here. So looking at potential assists, I just look at the 3 games with him with the Clippers here. Potential assists 11.7. He's getting a lot of opportunities there. I know there was a double OT game and all that stuff, but at the same time, the Warriors play a fast pace. I would think that he gets a lot of opportunities here for the assists. Anything else to add on this one?
No, I think that's all I had as far as player props.
Chris? Nothing? All right, that's it. That is it. Let's go into the...
Do you want to talk about Joel Embiid props real quick?
Oh yeah. Let's get back to that then.
So I do see 32.5 for his points. Rebounds are at 10.5 at minus 135 as well. Or yeah, minus 135, 10.5 rebounds.
I don't even think he's on here because I think his list he wasn't on the list. Yeah, he's not on here. Just because I think it wasn't available yet. I don't know how often they update this thing. But yeah, I think that the points make sense. I mean,
Yeah.
who's gonna stop him in the paint there? Would you look at points and rebounds?
I think so. You kind of have to ski. I mean,
feel like
sorry, RC.
yeah.
Man, I just feel like this is gonna be one of those games where he has like 35 and like 17 or like 35, 14, something in that range.
Yeah. What is his points and rebounds? Do they have that yet?
Yeah, I got it right here. 43.5. It's a big number, but
That's
rightfully so
big.
too.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And his threes are over half at minus 145.
Oh,
So
that's
just
the thing
one
that
rate.
I think Mitch mentioned
pointed
it.
out,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right here, over a half. He said.
Yeah, minus 145.
What about his assists? 2.5.
Let me see.
3.5, probably 3.5.
Assists for Joel Embiid is at 3.5 at plus 105.
Embiid threes.
Embiid assists. I see. That's what 1, 2. He over in every game except 2. So that's what
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 5 and 2. 5 and 2 that are over on his assists.
I would lay juice for that over threes. Is
I think I would
minus
too.
145? What was it? Minus what?
Yeah, minus 145. I'm
I would
waiting
lay
for
juice.
the alt lines to update. Maybe if you get a 1.5 at like maybe like 2 to 1, maybe, or plus 175.
Yeah, that would be good too. Cause I mean, I might do that. I might get into that over threes. Let's go into the recap section here. Munaf, go ahead. Start it off.
Yeah, let's go with that first quarter over in the Wizards and the Raptors game. We talked about how the Wizards have been coming out firing on all cylinders. They get Porzingis back tonight as well. I know Ski and I were in alignment about Bradley Beal over 6.5 assists in that game, and then also that Youcapper steals and blocks over 2.5 at plus 155 for tonight. Gonna dig a little more into the Joel Embiid stuff. I know that it's just fresh right now with the news coming out, but I have all plays in the same game, so maybe put a same game parlay together.
Yeah. Chris, anything?
I know I missed the first portion, RC, but I'm probably gonna get with you guys on the Raptors. I just think that they're the better team tonight, just flat out. Given current roster and Wizards not having Monte Morris, so I don't know if I'm gonna play the -2 though. RC, I might just play the money line, lay the juice with the money line. I think it's like a lot of the craze that I ran, as far as Wizards being home dogs, as far as Raptors being road favorites, are very, very close on the number. I just feel like they should win the game, but it might be on the last bucket shot. So I like the Raptors money line. I also like that game to go under. Got a lot of support towards the under. I know the line dropped. When I was doing my show this morning, the line actually came out at 226, and I didn't play it then. So, yeah, those would be my top 2 looks. I also leaned the Warriors and the Clippers under 232.5 as well.
Yeah,
Spurs under too.
Spurs under, yeah. Spurs
under, yeah.
Spurs. Shout out to the chat, Chris, man. You always, Mitch, you always saying shit that makes me laugh, dude. But yeah, always love the chat. You guys drop a lot of information there too. A lot of the guys here. I know I didn't click on them to show them, but I'm pretty sure everyone sees them. For me, guys, real quick, Chris, Munaf and Ski were not. They didn't like the Raptors. So I did. Jay did. He was on here for a little bit as well. So kind of split down the middle as far as like who's been on the panel today. I do like the Raptors there. I took it at -1 yesterday. Like you said, it's kind of close, but I think the biggest factor for me is the Wizards offense without Monte Morris. That's really the biggest factor for me. As far as the other games that I want to add on to it, the Spurs Pacers definitely going to add the under there. From a prop perspective, these were some of the things that I gave out, or like kind of the leans that I was looking at on Jay's show. Van Vliet over points, Anunoby under 13.5 points. It seems like the Wizards actually good at limiting points to forwards. So kind of pivoted off of that. You would think that it would be Van Vliet getting most of the points for them today. And I looked at the defensive matchup there. It actually is a good matchup for guards against the Wizards. Sixers, Mavs. Like I said, in the chat, I said the under last night. I did take it at 229.5. I'm mixed there. I do like it with Embiid playing. I do like the under more with Embiid playing. I think the pace is going to be low. Obviously, he can still hit his over props, even in the slow paced game. It's just I just don't know if the pace is going to be enough to get over that high total of 229.5. Turner over PRA. I think Ski was on the threes. So sort of alignment there. I think most of that stuff from the PRA is going to be on the points there for Turner. Spurs team total under, full game under, as well as leans there. The last game, Westbrook over assists, Kawhi over threes. But yeah, I mean, a lot of looks, a lot of things that we talked about on the show here. Hopefully the viewers, guys who's listening on both YouTube or on Twitter, you guys got some good information and kind of see what Let's Cap is about, because there was a lot of things here where I didn't have down, and I'm pretty sure Munaf and Chris didn't have down, but we all share information and get to a certain point where we can agree. And like just having people on the panel here, like local guys like Munaf down in knowing that that rodeo shit to look up, that was pretty dope. That was like randomly on the spot, just taking the under there. So yeah, man, I really like I said, I like where the show is going. A lot of the guys that come on the panel, really sharp guys. Even some of the viewers, man, just you guys drop a lot of information. Some of the guys yesterday were dropping queries that I didn't even look up. So just keep going, keep showing up. I think this show is going to continue to grow and get even better and more profitable as we continue growing. Baseball season's coming up as well. We're going to continue doing it in that sense as well. I just get excited when I feel like we're going to have a good day too. Definitely a good day. 4 games on the slate. We were able to break it down really on point. So hopefully we cash today. Yeah, with that said, guys, anything to promote? I know Munaf, you got your podcast with SGPN. Chris, you got Spaces as well. Munaf, talk about your shows before we cut out.
Yeah, we should go around close to 11 a.m. Eastern every single day, breaking down the NBA schedule on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. We're ramping up MLB Gambling Podcast next week, starting with division previews. So it's that time, man. It's one season's getting close to the end and then a new one starting. So it's always fun getting into the division previews and all that fun stuff. So come check us out, man.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything as exciting as Munaf RC, but I am doing just a show daily, a morning show.
Your shows are more exciting than mine. I'll tell you that much.
7 a.m. morning show, casting with Chris RC live on YouTube every single day, trying to get the best lines. And then I'm doing a community show, Crispy Cabin NBA show, 5:30 Eastern time every single evening with myself and some other pretty sharp guys in the Twitter space, kind of sharing looks together. So tap in with me, follow me. My Twitter is at the bottom. My handle is at the bottom. So would love to have you guys, anybody who wants to come in.
Yes, sir. So make sure you guys follow Sports Nerd 824, Chris B. Capin, 2 P's, 2 N's. Right? Oh, you're missing the N, bro. Oh no, there is 2 N's. Okay. And also myself, Youcapper Sports. Obviously, if you guys are following me, you probably followed them already. With that said, guys, I always gotta end the show with this. Whether you fade us or follow us, it is on you guys to make that call. Good luck with all your action. Till next time, peace.